Hey everybody, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at this PlayStation 4 Slim, which has been sent in by a customer, and this has been sent in because apparently it doesn't turn on. Now the reason I say apparently is because there's a big difference between a customer's definition of doesn't turn on and our definition as a technician as to doesn't turn on. So I don't know what's wrong with this yet because I haven't plugged it in, I haven't attempted to turn it on or anything like that, but I'm sure we're going to find out pretty soon. So if you are new to the channel and you like this type of content, I would really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and turn on the bell notifications, that way you don't miss any future videos. If you do need to organise repair, if you want to send in a console, laptop, MacBook or anything else for repair, get in touch using the website in the video description, consolefix.shop. You can send me an email or you can drop me a message on the live chat. If I'm available at the time, I'll speak to you in real time. If not, I'll respond to you when I get back online. So with that being said, let's get into this repair. Today's video is sponsored by PCBWay. Whether you've got a simple project that requires a quick mod board or you want to launch your own products to the world, PCBWay can help. With fantastic pricing on multi-layer PCBs, flex PCBs, 3D printing and even laser cutting solutions, you're sure to get everything you need all in one place. Custom PCBs start from just $5 for a 1 to 2 layer board with a fast 24-hour build time and free shipping on orders over $30. PCBWay are also proud to announce their new aluminium PCBs, which start at just $120 per square metre. Check out what PCBWay have to offer by clicking on the link in the video description or the top pinned comment and get your project started today. Thanks again to PCBWay for sponsoring the video. Let's get back to the repair. Alright, so the first thing I want to do then is obviously plug this in and give it a test, just to see what the actual issue is with this. Is it turning on and just not firing up? Is it turning on and not displaying? You know, does it have a blue light of death, or is it a complete and utter no power? Let's find out. So, let's have a look. And okay, it is complete no power. So, I did say that there's a big difference between a customer's definition and our definition as technicians. The reason I say that is because a lot of the time I'll get these and someone will say it doesn't turn on, when in reality it's just, for example, not displaying on the screen or something like that, and then they just put doesn't turn on. So until I actually test it, I never know, which is why I have to test it in advance. So that one is not turning on at all, so I'll unplug that for now. I had one similar a couple of days ago. I don't see these very often. I had one which was my own console a couple of days ago where it just didn't turn on and it was only down to the power supply, but we never know. It could be absolutely anything. So a lot of the PlayStation 4 Slims, when these come in for no repair, for no power, the issue is a lot of the time down to a chip called the Southbridge, which is basically a power management chip responsible for all of the main power rails as well as some of the input and output devices on the console. So yeah, it could be a long old repair, but we'll see. I don't see many of these, but it is still economically viable to do them. One thing I'm noticing here is there's no metal cover here. There's supposed to be a metal cover going across this power supply here, and that's missing, so this has been worked on in the past. Someone's probably tried changing the power supply on it or something like that, but it's all good. It doesn't really matter too much as long as no actual prior repair attempts have been done, then there'll be no prior repair attempt fee, I guess, if you want to call it that. Let's get this Torx bit out of here first. Yep, so there's no warranty sticker on here. I might as well take these ones out to start with. It has been cleaned. It's fairly clean inside by the look of it. The fan's fairly clean. Okay, there we go. So, these are fairly straightforward to get into, but I won't make you sit through it. If you do need to know how to get into them, there's plenty of guides online. iFixit's probably the best place to get a guide for tearing these down. But I will fast forward through this bit and I'll pick it up when the board is ready to come out of the housing. And we have a lot of missing screws, and that would be why it's not turning on. Well, I mean, it's not going to turn on without that ribbon, so I guess we're not skipping. We've got to try it again with this this ribbon in there. Looks like someone's just thrown this back together. That's not the right cable. Looks like someone's just thrown this back together. Alright, let's try it again. No, absolutely nada. Okay. Okay, we've got all of the thermal pads missing. So if we get this working, we're going to have to replace those. Otherwise the RAM will start to overheat. That will cause more problems in the future. And we're not going to get nothing, are we? Because the ribbon cable for the power supply is not in. You've got two connectors here for the power supply. You've got one here which carries 5 volt, and then you've got one there that carries 12 volt. It needs the 5 volt connector to enable the 12 volt because there's a pin, these two end pins here basically talk to the power supply, and when the motherboard is ready it'll enable the 12 volt rail. It's for power saving and stuff. It's not going to attempt to turn on without that 5 volt cable there, so I'm going to have to try and find one now. Right, I've got one off a PS4 Pro here. Does this fit it? Yeah, there you go. That's fine. It's the same connector, just routed a little bit differently. It almost makes you wonder what's actually been done to this. If someone's left a load of stuff out. Right, so we've got a ribbon cable there now, finally. So now we've got to plug it back in and test it again. I say ribbon cable, yeah, it's a cable. Right. Well, really? Is that all that's going to be wrong with this? Is my fan spinning? Yeah. We're going to need the hard drive. It's kind of frustrating, really. I wanted an interesting video. So let's just kill power to this, and then we'll boot it back up. So I've got all of the ribbon cables connected now, including the hard drive. I can give it a test now, see if it wants to boot. My fan isn't spinning. That's going to be a blue light of death. That is not good. That is not good at all. Blue light of death on these are really, really difficult to diagnose. So I did see the fan spin when I first powered it on. That's going to be blue light of death. It's not going to power on. No. Knew it. That's likely going to be APU related as well, unfortunately. It looks like nothing's firing up. It could be Southbridge related actually, being as that's a little bit warm. Let me pop my thermal camera onto this. Okay, so it looks like the Southbridge is firing up. It wouldn't appear as though the RAM is firing up though. A chip there which is getting a little bit warm, and then we've got the MOSFETs which are getting warm, but the APU's not. The hard drive circuit seems to be powering on. Let's put the macro lens on. Okay, so we've got a chip here which appears to be receiving power. It's not getting hot, it's just a little bit warm, which is perfectly normal, to be honest. We've got the Southbridge over here. Collectively that's getting warm, but no individual spot, that's about right. And then we've got absolutely no RAM getting warm at all. So if we look at the individual RAM chips, chips. I mean, they're not cold. I think they are actually getting a little bit warm. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're getting all the way through the boot cycle. So the blue light of death on these, or on any PlayStation, you know, PS4, PS5, it's fairly tricky to diagnose because it can be pretty much anything, to be honest. Especially when it's a pulsing blue light. If it was a 2-second blue light, it'd be fairly straightforward. If it was a 6-second blue light, it would be fairly straightforward. But the fact that it's 20 seconds or so, that's fairly tricky. It could still be the safe bridge because we've got no fan spin, but the fan does initially power on. So that's telling me that something's possibly pulling the rail that powers the fan down to ground and, you know, preventing it from turning on. What that is, I don't know. It is very difficult to say. I will have a look around the board quickly and just see if I can see something. Let's have a look at my resistance on this APU cap here. Ooh. Uh-oh. That's not good. 0.3 ohms. 0.3 ohms isn't great at all. It's very low resistance, but that is a little bit too low, in my opinion. So if we get another board here, this is a SAF 005 6K. Ah, shoot. I actually thought that was low impedance, it's not. But we got 6K on that one, on a donor board. I think this APU is dead. Yeah, it's got to be dead. It's got to be dead. One thing I can do, I mean, I don't know what voltage that's meant to take, but I can inject, you know, like half a volt into it or something and just see if anything gets warm. So we'll go for half a volt. I could probably go up to, you know, 0.8 volts to be safe, but we can see if anything gets warm by injecting voltage there. So bench supply is also down here, just there. So you can see I've got 0.5 volts there. We only get 10 milliamps. I'm up to 1.4. Yeah, I'm not going to get any considerable amount of heat from that, I don't think. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. But from what I've heard in the past, when that cap is that low resistance, it's normally a very, very bad sign. And I'm not sure how much longer I really want to be working on this because of that. Because, that's increased in resistance now, 300 ohms. What? Has it burnt out some sort of a short? Because I did see it jump up to 1 amp. For a split second, it jumped up to 1 amp. It is possible. It's happened before. Now, it wouldn't be the first time it happened. I mean, it don't make a lot of sense, does it? But it is very possible that it could have burnt out a short. Because I did see it jump up to 1 amp. Oh no, resistance is decreasing again now. Maybe that was just because they were powering the board. I honestly think that is very, very, very bad to have resistance that low. The problem is I don't know exactly where it goes. I'm going to try and trace it back. See, the thing is, while these were actually current gen, I didn't do that much work on them in terms of fault finding. It looks like it goes straight into the APU, but it also comes to here. It also comes here. I think it comes to here. These chips here and these caps. Let's just have a look at my resistance on this side. Let's see if I can find a matching resistance. 111 ohms, yeah. Right, okay. So if we've got a really low resistance on that rail, I mean, I can try putting the, because it's not dead short, or at least it's not now. It was, you know, 0.3 ohms is considered as pretty much dead short. So it was short, but whether it is now, I don't know. You know, whether that's the cause of this issue, I don't know. Let's just remove this, because it could be the caps. Like, realistically, it could be the caps. So let's remove the caps first. I'll remove both of them. That one there is very small, so I'm just going to push it to one side. I don't want to be losing it. Let's have a look again. Okay, my probe was actually loose, so it was unscrewed, which is probably what was causing the higher resistance reading. 17 ohms. So that definitely goes straight into the APU. I can see it does. 12 ohms, yeah. I'm just going to put everything back as I found it. These caps I did just put on the desk. It doesn't matter what order they go in because they are connected to... Whoops, damn it. Well, I was going to say it doesn't matter what order they're going because they're connected to the same rail, but looks like I've got to pull one off a donor board, but hey ho. That sucks a little bit, doesn't it? Okay, there we go. Right, so that's back as I found it. As far as I'm aware, and I can't say for sure, I can't say 100%, but as far as I'm aware, this, when that cap is that low resistance, is bad, real bad, and it's usually not fixable without swapping the board, because the APU, it's not worth swapping. If you've got a working APU, most of the time you've got a working board. I have had one case where I didn't have a working board, but I had an APU, and I did a full APU transfer, but that was very expensive and very time consuming. It took me about 8 hours to do. I mean, it probably wouldn't take me 8 hours these days, but you know, yeah, it's not really going to be worth me continuing, is it? Because I'm not seeing anything visibly. I have tested a lot of the components around there, and the only thing that's showing abnormalities is that capacitor that goes into the APU and that little chip. So yeah, it's a scenario where it seems like the APU is not really getting warm. It looks like it's the residual heat that's coming from, you know, some of these chips here, and if this is short, I would expect it to get warm, and if it's short, it's probably not providing power to the APU. But the problem is it's not short on the chip. If it's not short on the chip and it's being pulled down by the APU, then that's going to be an internal issue on the APU. It's not going to be something that can be solved with a reboard or a reflow. These are absolutely still worth reboarding and reflowing. You can pick one of these up, you know, fully working PlayStation 4 Slim for around about £120, £130 British. That's around about $150 US. I only charge £60 for a reboard, so it is absolutely worth doing a reboard on these. But the problem is, I'm probably going to be wasting my time, because if it is an issue with the APU, it's not going to be the solder balls, it's going to be internal on the APU itself. Or at least that's what I've found, you know, in my experience over the past few years working on these. You know, I've worked on these for quite a while, I've worked on quite a lot of them. And every time I have reboard one of these to try and fix this specific issue, it's always ended up in failure. And even if it did work, it'd probably only be a temporary thing. That's the problem. Interesting. So you remember I said I had that 1 amp of current, and then all of a sudden it drops off? I hope that showed on the screen, but now the fan's spinning. That's just done a reboot. Wait. You've got to be kidding me. It's burnt a short out. You've got to be absolutely f***ing kidding me. It's burnt a short out, and this is turning on. I really hope that 1 amp of current draw showed up on the screen. It should have done. But that's turning on. Let's grab a HDMI tester from consolefix.shop, where you can buy all of your parts for PlayStation 4s and more. Is that displaying? Yep. Right, let's plug in the hard drive. You've got to be kidding me, it's burnt the short out. So the higher resistance could have just been heat, or that could be a normal resistance, I don't know. You have got to be absolutely freaking kidding me. That is... I've never seen that, ever. Genuinely, this is the same board, I think. Is it the same board? I think it's the same board. I hope I didn't pick up a wrong board. Yeah, this is the same board. This is the one that I put that cap back on. It's got flux on it, and both of the caps are there, which means it is definitely the same board. What the hell is going on here? That's got to have burnt the short out. I wonder if there was something stuck under the APU. Like, I know this is going to sound stupid. I'm probably going to look a right idiot. I wonder if someone got like a shard of metal or something stuck underneath the APU while they were cleaning it out. That's possible. Like a, I don't know, like a random stray wire maybe that was cleaning it with a metal brush. I don't know. And it could have burnt it out because it couldn't handle the excess current. Fan's spinning with the hard drive. With the hard drive plugged in. So it's not the hard drive what was causing it. What on earth is going on? Well, that's displaying. And it's turning on. And everything seems to be working. Well, I mean, rather, the console seems to be working. What on earth has happened here? I'm honestly lost for words right now. I mean, a fix is a fix if a fix is a fix, right? I'm going to reboot this. And the reason I'm going to reboot it is because it is in safe mode because the hard drive wasn't in it when I first turned it on. But what on earth? I'm just turning it back on now. Let's see if it boots up into the dashboard. It's got the hard drive in it now, so it should, but it would have been stuck in safe mode because the hard drive was missing. My fan's still spinning, so it's just booting in, as you can see. Well, you can see the fan spinning. Just about to display on the screen. Oh, okay, now it's asking to check the system storage status. Okay. I'm still blown away at how I've fixed this. And to be quite honest, I don't know how I've fixed it, but apparently I have. Let's just let it try and boot up. I'm going to grab a PS4 test game as well. It has to be FIFA, right? Unfortunately, my disk drive isn't plugged in, and I can't plug it in right now because I'll end up blowing fuses. So I'm not going to do that yet. I will leave that for now. But there's that PlayStation logo in all its glory. It does seem a little bit slow at boot up. But there's the PlayStation logo. So I've just been trying to trying to get the controller to sync and realise I haven't got antennas connected. But wow, it's actually working. Alright, I'm going to let that shut down. I need to connect up the antenna and also connect up the ribbon cables for the disk drive just to give it a test. So I'm going to wait for it to shut down fully. How's that cable got stuck under there? Oi. Come here. Yep, that's shut down. So never connect these cables up while it's got power running through it, because you will end up blowing the fuses, and possibly worse, it could blow the Renaissance IC. So we were right on the ball with that, with that short, but it looks like, I'm wondering if some sort of contaminants got under there or something. I don't know. Is that possible? It doesn't make a lot of sense how it would jump up to 1 amp, drop straight back down to, you know, like 100 milliamps or whatever it was, and then suddenly it works. It looks like it had a burst of current because of a short, burnt something out, burnt the short out, and now it works. I am going to give it a test. You can connect this one up while it's powered on. Yeah, so I am going to give it a full extended test, you know, off camera and whatever, to make sure everything works. So it'll get, you know, a full stress test and things like that to make sure everything's all good. That's turning back on, by the way. Actually, that hard drive's a little bit quicker this time. So yeah, that's working. Let's just try a disk. So I need to make sure absolutely everything works, because if it has burnt a trace out for something critical, you know, we could end up with issues. We could end up with glitching. We could end up with the disk drive not working, Wi-Fi not working, Ethernet, that sort of stuff. So I do need to give it a full test. Obviously, that'll be done off camera because, well, first of all, I don't have an Ethernet cable at the minute, so I can't test that. And yep, my test game works. I will test Wi-Fi quickly. Search again, should come up any second. There we go. And yep, there we go. That is working on the internet. It's not going to work to connect to PSN because it is out of date on the software. It's running 9.03, so let's just ignore that. And connection is going to be fairly slow because I'm using a hotspot on my PC. That all works. Disconnect from the internet there, and yeah, it's working in 1080p. Everything seems to be working so far. So I'm assuming that there was something straight underneath the APU or something causing it to short out, and that was what was causing this issue. But that being said, this is now working. I will give it an extended test. Obviously I need to clean it and things like that, but yeah, that was insane. That was absolutely crazy. I will take it though. A win's a win if a win's a win, right? That's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. If you do have any comments or questions, leave them down in the comment section down below. I'll always do my best to answer. If you do want to organise a repair, consolefix.shop, they're not always this lucky, but consolefix.shop, get it booked in, get it sent over. I'll do my best to repair it for you. And if you do want to buy any parts and supplies, consolefix.shop again. You can buy stuff from my online store. That all directly supports me. You can also become a Patreon supporter. You can follow me on Twitch, and you can get disturbed by my heater telling me to stop heating. That's it from me. Shut up, heater. That's it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, see you later. Bye for now.